So in the last episode, we had the feed being fetched and we've now got it in our model. Today, we're going to look at actually putting it onto the page. As always, I won't do lots of CSS in this episode. I'll do that off camera, but today we'll put the actual raw contents on the page. So today we're going to be mainly working in view.elm. We already have this index function, which renders our index page. So we have the view following users bit here. And today we're going to add the feed bit into here. So we're going to say if we're logged in with a token user and maybe a feed, we're going to view your following users. So we have maybe a feed. We're going to have, let's go and add in down here, we'll say view feed. And it's going to take maybe feed. So the view feed isn't going to know about any user or any other data. It's just going to care about the feed. And for now, we're just going to define this function down here. So we'll say view feed. It's going to take a maybe list feed post, and it's going to return HTML of type message. So firstly, we'll say case maybe feed of, because if it's nothing, for now, we're just going to render nothing. I'm going to leave us to do here, though, show a spinner or similar. Because in the future, what we want to do is, if this has taken a while, we should show the user some indication that we're loading it. Else, if it is just posts, in here we can actually render the post. So for now, I'll just put text. Let's say got some posts, just so we can make sure that this is all hooked up correctly. You see now in the browser, we do indeed have got some posts. So now we're in here, we can actually start to render our posts. So I'm going to leave that div, but we're going to just change what's in there. We're going to start with a heading. And this is just going to be text feed, your feed. Well, let's go from posts from people you follow in that. And then we're going to create an unordered list. And in here, what we're going to do is we're going to map over the posts and call a view function for each of them. So we'll then say list.map view feed post. And it's going to take in all the posts, which is posts. So this is saying that we're going to take all our posts and we're going to pass each of them to view feed post, which it currently can't find. So we'll define that view feed post. It just takes a single post and returns HTML of type message. And again, for now, I'm just going to do a div, and we know that posts have an ID, which is a string. So we'll just say text post.id. In fact, post.id, I think the post record does not have an ID field. It has a post ID field, which is a post ID. So let's do post.post ID. And that's going to fail because text is expecting this to be a string. So for now, I'll just define post ID to string. It's going to take a post ID and return string. Post ID to string. And we can define this very easily. We'll say post ID X, and it's just going to return the X. So now, rather than passing this directly into text, we'll say post ID to string. Whoops, it just ate up some of my thing. Let's try that again. Post ID to string. Post ID. And for some reason, I've used brackets there. Of course, we don't need brackets to call it. We want a bracket around that and that, though, so we make sure that we call this function first and then we pass it into text. So now, if we go back to the browser, we should see a list of all the post IDs. And then they are. Indeed, you can see there are 3 different IDs there, although they're all very similar until the very last thing. So the first thing I'm going to do actually is change this view feed post from returning a div to just return a list item, because remember this, we're wrapping these in an unordered list. And let's get rid of that because we don't need that now. We've confirmed that that's working. So let's create a div in here. And we're going to have a heading. Let's go for heading 3. Text post.title. I should point out that I'm not putting loads of effort into making sure all the HTML is completely semantic here. I just want to get something working and on the screen for now. So have the title, and feed posts also have, if we look at the alias here, they have content, which should probably live in div. So let's put a div in here, and we'll put text post.content. Okay, so you can see now we've got something that's starting to look like the list of posts a user has. A feed post also has a published at, which is a string. But we're going to want to change that into a date time and work with that. We're going to do that in a future episode. But for now, what we'll do is just output published at onto the screen. And we can put that published at just below the heading in another div, text post. Whoops, if I could type post.published at. And let's see if there's anything else we want to show for now. We probably want to show the tags as well. And that will probably do for now. So maybe this can go as part of this div as well. So let's wrap this published at in a span. Like so, and then we'll have another span that says, and we'll actually do view feed post tags post.tags. here. Let's check. I think I've got all those brackets right. I have. We just need to define view, feed, post tags. So it's going to take a list of string and return HTML type message. So view, feed, post tags. It's going to take the tags. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the list of strings, join them all up with commas between them, and output those as text onto the page. We'll say tags, and then we'll do string dot. I think it's string dot join. It is string dot join. We'll join with a comma and a space, and then we'll pass the result of that through to the text function. There we have it. You can see we have the title, the publish date, the tags, although they've all only got one tag at this point, and they're all three are there. So that will do it for this episode. I'm going to do some nice work to this off screen to make this look a little nicer to look at. In the next episode, we'll continue down this and we'll actually look at how we can take this date and store it in our model as an actual date rather than a string, and then use a nice library to format this and output it to the browser.